What is going on, everybody? This is Justin Martinez, aka Jay the Sports Dude, coming to y'all live from my apartment. Hopefully you all are staying at your homes as well, practicing social distancing and staying safe during this pandemic, and I'm here to provide y'all with a little bit of extra entertainment. That's right, folks, it is time for a new video series of ours that we like to call Aggie Mailbag, and this is where I'll be answering your guys' most pressing questions about New Mexico State men's basketball, and it's going to be released every single Thursday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And if you guys don't want to watch this video version, there is also going to be a written version on our website that is lcsunnews.com, popping up somewhere around here right now. It's the same questions, the same answers, just one is a written version and one is the video version that you all are watching right now. And if you want to get involved, feel free to send me questions. You can hit me up on Twitter, that is at JayTheSportsDude. You can hit me up on my email, which is jmmartinez@gannett.com. You can find me on Facebook on our page, which is Las Cruces Sun U Sports. And then you can find me on the message boards of Aggie Alert on 24/7 Sports, which is going to be right here. So plenty of ways to get involved, and I really hope that you guys do, because as long as you all keep sending me questions, that's how long we'll keep this series going. But without any further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and get started with question number one. I have my trusty mailbag right here, and we're going to get this going with our first question of the day, of the series. Comes from @WhackHoopsDigest via Twitter. Shout out to them, by the way. If you guys aren't following them yet, go ahead and show them some love, because they provide a lot of great coverage on the WAC. And their question here is, how big of a role will Johnny McCants play in 2020, 2021? Now, the short answer to this is a very big role. This is a guy entering his redshirt senior season, and last year, he very quietly had one of the program's most efficient outings in recent memory. Now, Johnny actually led the team in both 2-point percentage and 3-point percentage. Now, that 3-point percentage is the more impressive one, because this is a 6'7" power forward who extended his range and knocked down his shots consistently. And in down low, you already know he didn't miss a whole lot of looks there. But the stats get even more impressive when you dig a little bit deeper. Now, KenPom has something called effective field goal percentage, and this is very similar to a regular field goal percentage. However, made 3-point shots are given 50% more credit, since they are worth 50% more than a 2-point shot. I hope that makes sense, guys. And Johnny actually had an effective field goal percentage of 64.3, which ranked 18th in the country, not in the WAC, in the entire country. And it also was the second highest that any Aggie player who averaged at least 20 minutes per game has put up since 2004, which is when KenPom started keeping track of the stats. Super impressive stuff there, and there's no reason to believe that Johnny can't do the same again this upcoming season, because with Ivan Audicoechea, the star player in the front court, having graduated, that spotlight is now being put on Johnny McCants, and he's not going to have a whole lot of depth as well at that 4 spot playing behind him, because there's guys like UNLV transfer Donnie Tillman who could play at that 4 spot, but he's still waiting to find out if he'll be granted immediate eligibility. There's a waiver being put out right now, which we'll get into later. But as of right now, the only real backup 4 option, the true backup power forward that the Aggies have, is redshirt freshman Rashawn Agee. And New Mexico State head coach Chris Jans isn't really known for giving freshmen a big role in their first season with the team. So just like that, I could definitely see Johnny matching, if not even increasing, his minutes per game from last season, which was 25.7. There's a little bit of room to grow there. But even if he only matches it, this is a guy who averaged 9.3 points and 6.2 rebounds per game last season. And I could definitely see him getting into the ballpark of around 12 points and 8 rebounds per game this upcoming year. And if that happens, he has a legitimate chance, guys, to be an all-WAC first team selection. Because when you look at last year's front court for the all-WAC first team, it was Ivan Audicoechea, his teammate. This is a guy who averaged 11.4 points and 5.6 rebounds per game. So certainly, if Johnny can get into that ballpark that I'm talking about, there's a real chance that he gets on that first team. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and get it moving to question number 2 as we go ahead and pull this one out here. This one is coming from Cameron Montano via YouTube, and he asks, what role do you think Donnie Tillman will have this season? Now, I do think that of all the incoming transfers who are waiting to find out if they'll be immediately eligible, Donnie Tillman, to me, is the one that can make the biggest immediate impact on this team. Now, this is a former 4-star recruit from UNLV who was averaging 10.1 points and 4.7 rebounds per game during his time as a run-in Rebel. And in the year before that, during his time at Utah, he was actually the Pac-12 Conference's 6th Man of the Year. So plenty of reason to get excited for the Aggies landing him. But however, how much he can reach that potential depends on his drive. Now, according to the Las Vegas Sun, Tillman was targeted more than 10 practices during his time at UNLV, and this eventually led to him being pulled from the starting lineup, and his role with the team never really fully recovered, guys. Now, even when Tillman was on the court, the 6'7" power forward did put up some pretty lackluster showings on the defensive side of the ball. There were a lot of instances where he wasn't much of a factor, and he actually only recorded 6 steals, 9 blocks, and 76 defensive rebounds, despite playing a total of 654 minutes. Now, with all of that being said, I still think he has some serious potential. This is a guy with NBA-ready size. He can handle the ball like a guard, and also, as I mentioned earlier, he fits really well into that small ball lineup on a team that doesn't have a whole lot of depth at that 4 spot right now. So he could be one of those rare cases where a guy can come in and immediately be impactful. And in addition to that, Tillman has shown some signs that he can be one of those stretch fours because he can hit that 3-point shot. Now, I know the numbers say otherwise during his time at UNLV because he actually only shot 29.2% from distance, but that number skyrocketed to 36.1% from behind the arc during his time at Utah, and he had the 2nd highest offensive rating on the team according to Ken Pom during that campaign as a sophomore. Now, those are the numbers that I'm looking at that I really get excited about, and I just think it's going to be a matter of which version of Tillman do the Aggies get in his final year of eligibility. Alrighty guys, now it is time for our 3rd and final question of this video, and this one is coming to us courtesy of HoopsMaster23 via Aggie Alert, and he wants to know, which player do you think will surprise a lot of people this upcoming season? Now, I get asked this question a whole lot, and the answer that I keep going back to is Will McNair. So the 6'10" center played more of a pay your dues type of role last season, averaging 1.6 points, 1.4 rebounds, and 0.4 blocks in 8.2 minutes per game as a redshirt freshman. However, during his limited time on the hardwood, he did show flashes of being a top-tier rim protector in the WAC. So Big Will actually had a block percentage of 7.7 last season, according to Ken Palmer. Just so you guys get a better idea of where that ranks on the squad, that actually came in 1st place, and then coming in 2nd place was Johnny McCants at just 2.3%. So a pretty sizable gap right there, and we get it. This guy is a shot swatter like none other. However, I feel that the key to getting his game to that next level this upcoming season is going to be becoming more aggressive down low on the offensive side of the ball, because he is going to have a lot of mismatches in his favor, being 6'10". And despite being the tallest guy on the squad last year, he actually only ranked 6th on the team in 2-point percentage at 48.1%. So definitely room for improvement, but I'm seeing in my crystal ball here, folks, the brighter days are ahead for the Philadelphia native, and it would not be the first time that we've seen somebody make a jump from freshman to sophomore year. Just last season, we saw Jabari Rice really elevate his game, becoming a role player, and then eventually going on to become an all-WAC first-team selection. Now, am I seeing that in my crystal ball for Will this upcoming season? No, to be perfectly honest with you, but I do think there are plenty of opportunities for him this upcoming year because he is the only returning center with playing experience in this system since Wilfred Lakai was out for all of last season. And they got some other question marks at the center spot. You look at Jacob Tryon and Mayan Curd. These are 2 incoming transfers who are still waiting to find out if they'll be able to suit up this year. There's a waiver pending for their immediate eligibility, and if that does not happen, then I could definitely see Will getting into that ballpark of around 20 minutes per game, 6 points, and about 5 rebounds per contest. Now, are those numbers eye-popping? No, definitely not by any means. However, for a sophomore, that's definitely a step in the right direction, guys. But that is going to do it for this episode of Aggie Mailbag. Shout out to everybody for tuning into this one. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notification bells so you guys can see every time that we upload here, because we are bringing you all tons of great content, and this is just one of them. New episodes every Thursday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and as long as you guys keep sending me questions, I'll keep this one going. But for now, guys, that is going to do it for me. This has been Justin Martinez, aka Jay the Sports Dude, and I'm out.